Today I'm going to be putting on my risk hat, and while I'm not going to go into a full risk assessment, this video will talk through some high-level considerations when using Power Apps. Power Apps developed apps are essentially an end-user developed tool, and the tooling is designed for non-technical users to quickly develop tools. So this is essentially like an Excel macro and has the same kind of risks. Disruption. So what happens when the app is not available? Are we relying on the app too much to keep our business operating? Data compromise. So what happens when the data is inappropriately accessed? Do we know what kind of data is in the app and how much is in there? What about functionality defect? So what happens when the app isn't functioning correctly? Is a calculation error or workflow error going to cause major problems? What if the pricing's wrong? What if approvals can be bypassed? And then we have regulatory non-compliance. So what are the local international rules with hosting data in a cloud environment? So just to take you through some key process and control considerations. Criticality. So is the app used for business critical processes? If so, the other risks mentioned in this video will be more important than ever. Consider the business need, including uptime and the impact of outages, and if Power Apps is the right solution for you. Key person risks. Power apps are often built by someone that knows the solution inside and out. We need to consider if the developer becomes no longer available, what are you going to do? Backups. Given the lack of control over apps and underlying data, it is possible to delete an app or even the underlying data. Make sure you have adequate and frequent backups in place to restore if required. Then you have versioning. So versioning capability is somewhat built into Power Apps, but you need to consider what version's been tested and then which version are you publishing for use. The next area is user access. Multiple users can edit the same app, so we need to ensure that adequate user access is in place for the app itself. So is the app protected from modification or publishing? And then the underlying data. So is the data protected from deletion, tampering? If this is via SharePoint, you'll need to make sure that you have the right permissions configured. Testing. So it's very simple to publish, and you can get through publishing without adequate testing. So you need to make sure that you've got an adequate process to ensure testing is performed, and even regression testing for existing functionality. Peer review. Similar to the point above for testing, it helps to have an independent set of eyes over the app and code before publishing. Code quality. Similar to the point around keyman risk, the code can get messy very quickly, and without adequate coding standards, it can be very difficult to decipher or troubleshoot issues. Make sure you have coding standards and think about and agree these up front. These can include commenting, indentation, naming conventions. And finally, data location. This is in the cloud and in the Microsoft 365 environment. So you need to make sure that you are compliant with any regulation for hosting certain data in the cloud. This will differ from industry and location, so make sure you check with your risk or compliance team or do your research. Hopefully this has given you a brief overview of the risks with using Power Apps. Thanks for watching.